Move over, kids. Okay, so I just did my news, and I had to talk more. I just had to talk more. So I grabbed David right here. What's up, David Castillo? He is from the podcast, actually, and I referenced him saying that, you know, he's the one that actually got me to Wario 64. And David, there was just like a Best Buy Direct. You said that, and I laughed, and that's what I'm going to call it, the Best Buy Direct. Over the weekend, there was a render of Persona, and I thought that was like, well, good job, Best Buy. And then tonight, Wario 64 on Twitter, a dude who is like, he doesn't put out rumors lightly. I usually make fun of YouTubers who will like jump on any itty-bitty news bit, but when Wario 64 says something, your ears perk up because this guy has a very proven track record, and he just said, he tweeted out Persona 5 on the Switch. Everyone's like, okay, finally, we got the announcement. Then he tweets out Metroid Trilogy. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy. We kind of suspected it, but then he threw an oddball at us. Link to the Past. I don't even understand that one. My mind can't even wrap around it. We just got Link's Awakening, and now Link to the Past? I don't know, David. You need to talk because I need to think. I need to contemplate life here.
Well, when he said A Link to the Past, I was like, wait, is this a Link's Awakening he's talking about? And I had to reread it again. And then I was like, A Link to the Past? Oh, man, they're going to put it on the Switch as far as like a kind of maybe like the Nintendo online. What is it? I don't want to call it Virtual Console, but the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What's up?
So, but it was just like one hit after another. And I actually thought the Joker render was like a really elaborate April Fool's joke, but pretty much you could still find the link to the website. It's no longer on the website, but the link to the render is still alive.
Yeah, so, actually, the Joker thing, I actually meant to talk about that, and it's like, yeah, right, Ken. So I can't even like claim it as an exclusive for myself or a first here at Move Over Kids. I actually saw it on Sunday morning, which was March 31st, and I forgot to talk about it before it broke everywhere. So that definitely was not a April Fool's, and I was afraid that these were April Fool's tweets of Link to the Past, Metroid, and Persona, but I made sure that these tweets were made like an hour ago or 2 hours ago, so they are not April Fool's jokes.
Yeah, I just think about it conceptually. You have a Joker render that ended up on a Best Buy website before it was revealed by Nintendo. How does that happen? How did Sakurai leave this out of the floodgates, man? Like how did that happen? You know, like.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeez, I don't know, because here's the thing, and now I can claim this. I can actually claim that they heard it here first because it was just like 2 or 3 nights ago. I said in passing that there might be an April Nintendo Direct, and RGT85 just posted today about this thing, and he said that Spawn Wave actually did. But right here, baby. Right here. You heard it first on Move Over Kids. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to start tooting my own horns because I think some people are stealing my horn. So I'm going to just start tooting it. Toot, buddy, because I actually said a couple of nights ago that there are rumors, rumblings of a Nintendo Direct, and maybe, see, when you say there might be a Nintendo Direct and then you start seeing these drops, well then, you know, that means it could be happening. Seriously, if Nintendo wants to do a Direct before the Joker appears, it would mean it would probably be this week, because most likely Joker's coming on the 25th, and today's now the 2nd.
Right. Oh, man, the 25th of this month. It feels like it's far off, but it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. And the only reason why I say the 25th is because I think Atlas themselves have something, there's like this thumbnail going around where there's like it's just April 25th, and it's the Persona hand and stuff. Yeah, today's topic, basically, this is just an emergency podcast, basically. We are talking about Best Buy. Wario 64 on Twitter dropped the news that in the SKUs the Best Buy employees have access to, Link to the Past, which is Metroid Trilogy, and Persona 5 have been discovered. And I'll say this as well. I went I went and I broke the news about Metroid 4, and then I broke the news about Persona. And at 9:30 when I did my newscast, their Link to the Past hadn't been announced yet. Because I was going to talk so much tonight. I was going to talk a lot about the misprint with Darksiders, but then everything started happening. And so when I went live at 9:30, Link to the Past hadn't happened. And then, you know, I went and I did some stuff, you know, cleaned up the house, did some editing for tomorrow's video. And then I saw Spawn Wave. He then dropped something after me, but he had Link to the Past in his thing, and he made up a couple good points, so I'm going to credit Spawn Wave on this. He said, what if Link to the Past is them trying to sell the game, just Link to the Past on, like, the Virtual Console? What if they gave in and they're going to sell Virtual Console? Or what if it's, like, some kind of gift card with Link to the Past on it, like an eShop card? That one's stretching it. I could see maybe kind of sorta the Virtual Console. So I'm officially giving Spawn Wave credit for the Link to the Past theory there. This is news. Why? Because it's news when you're a hardcore Zelda fan, and you could say Link's tunic is going to be somewhere lost in Fallout 76, and my mind will be blown. I will have to buy everything Fallout 76 to get that green tunic. All right, it could be just his hat. That's why it's news. And then
I bet they'll sell a lot of copies once they do something like that to Fallout 76.
Oh man. So Glenn, that's why it's news. If you don't feel it's entertainment news, but what do you think about this Link to the Past thing? Because that casts doubt on everything to me. And Spawnwave said that too. He said that kind of casts doubt on everything. And I kind of have to agree with him. Maybe there is doubt when it comes, like, Link to the Past. We just got Link's Awakening. It'd be different if there was no Link's Awakening in the picture.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of odd. It just kind of, you have, you know, AAA title, Persona 5, and then Metroid Prime Trilogy, a game that's been out for 10 years on the Wii now, which is a no-brainer. It's perfect hype for Metroid Prime 4. And then all of a sudden you have a game that's, over 20 years old now, that just kind of, like, out of the blue, like, okay, we're putting Link to the Past on Switch.
Yeah, and Glenn even says if he wanted to play Link to the Past, he just pull out his SNES. And I agree there, but I don't like to pull out the old systems anymore now that I can take the Switch anywhere. But I get what you're saying, Glenn. But the thing about it is, you remember Link's Awakening, when that was revealed, we all lost our minds. Well, I did, at least, and I have a video of that losing my mind. And so, like, it's just weird to me that they are just Link to the Past. Just Metroid Trilogy, it seems like they would have released that, like, closer to this year when, you know, originally 2 years ago, Metroid 4 was probably going to come out this year, but then, you know, Nintendo did that stand-up move where they said, oh, Glenn was just messing with us. Thank you, Glenn. You know what? You know, if we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at? You know what? Thank you for stopping by. You have a good night, my friend. It's like Metroid 4 was probably going to come out, but then they had to pull it back. So when Metroid 4 was probably going to come out, they just probably put Metroid 3, which was done, in the bag, because that's been rumored to be coming out for a while now, and right. They just kind of, like, put it in the bag. And maybe they're just saying, okay, let's just do it. Metroid 4.
Do you feel like this is what do you feel about the rumor that there was going to be a Nintendo Direct in late April that would showcase Joker, drop Joker itself, and then maybe have these were going to be the games that were going to be announced in the Direct, like Link to the Past, Metroid Trilogy, Persona 5.
Honestly, it's sounding like it, because you could easily start, because think about how Nintendo does their Directs. They, like, lately, it's like the bun, you know, let's go to that burger analogy that we had a couple podcasts ago. The bun is like some game that we kind of, like, we're just going to be, like, super pumped about. Whether it's Luigi's Mansion 3, or it's, what was the last one? What was the last one they opened with? dang it, I'm just blanking on it right now. But they open with something strong, and then they close it with something shocking. And because I'm such a Zelda nerd, I fully remember the shocking reveals. Oh, Cuphead. They open with Cuphead. Oh, wow. That's so cool. I think I lost my mind, but you don't really lose your mind until the end when it's like, yeah, we're giving Zelda to an independent developer. Yeah, we're re-releasing Link's Awakening. We're remastering everything. And so if you think about this, let's just play with these 3 games. Joker is something you could open with, just a cold open. And what a cold open is, it's basically SNL when they don't say, live from New York at Saturday night. No, they open with a skit that leads into live from New York at Saturday night. So they cold open with just some Joker footage. You have Mario and Luigi hanging around, and then, well, I guess probably just Luigi because he's the one that's the whipping boy. And then boom, Joker comes out with his dagger and just stabs the guy in his eyeballs or something. I don't know. And then we're all like, yeah, Joker. We get 3 minutes of Joker. We get a little of this. We get a little of that. Metroid Prime Trilogy, we think it's done. Link to the Past. Right. I mean, these games would fall into the criteria of how Nintendo has been doing their Nintendo Direct templates. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, do you think that these were essentially some golden eggs for their Direct that were kind of now spoiled in a way? Do you think that Nintendo always has things up their sleeve, right?
Oh, I think Nintendo will be super mad about this. I think Nintendo will cancel their Direct. I'm not even joking.
It's possible that they're just going to wait until E3. I mean, think about it. I think what they're going to do is they're probably just going to do like similar to that Pokemon Direct we got a month ago where it was just like 7 minutes long. I think we're going to have like a sizzle reel of Joker gameplay, some features, maybe like a showcase, and then maybe Atlas will come, they'll say, Maybe there's like a Sakurai is like streaming from Atlas headquarters, and then they announce Persona 5 on the Switch. That would be a nice little 7-minute thing,
Yeah, and they kind of did that. They did that with Diablo, kind of, sort of. Like Reggie, R.I.P. He's not dead, but he's not at Nintendo. He might as well be for me.
Might as well, right?
Yeah. Shout out Reggie if somehow, some way you ever happen upon this. I wish no harm of you, and I hope you're enjoying your retirement.
He's the next guest on the show. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, and Reggie, also, if you ever go to Microsoft or PlayStation, you are dead to me though. But if okay, so you remember in April or in January when everybody was like, "There's gonna be a Nintendo Direct." There's gonna be like 3 months of there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct, and it was all leading to January 10th. I did a parody Direct before other people did, and. And I think Nintendo was just like, we're not going to do it. If you guys are going to be like this, you're going to be like doing so many things. I've also heard that Nintendo doesn't like these kind of videos. Sorry, Nintendo. I mean, you're rich enough. I could use a click or two. They don't like these type of videos where it's just like, let's talk rumors. Let's talk this. Let's talk that. And I mean, I agree kind of. I don't need 3 what's going to be on the Directs by the same person and his circle of friends. But I think they were just like, no, we're not going to do it. No. And then that week, they dropped, seriously, not first party, but they dropped like, I think it was like 4 like really good trailers and announcements, like Dragon's Dogma, Travis, we knew was coming, but we still needed to know more. Mario was going to release the next day, Mario Wii U Deluxe on the Switch, and I think they just was like, fine, whatever, we're not going to do it. And I think that this is going to have the same effect, and I bet they're just going to drop a couple things here and there. Maybe not Link to the Past, because Link to the Past might be too big, unless it is just going to be going right to the thing, right to online. But if it's like a remaster, then they're not just they will hold that one. But I could see them just saying, because remember Labo VR, they just dropped that, and Nintendo does keep VR separate from the Switch, but it still shows a mentality of, oh yeah, we'll just drop this. I mean, Diablo 3 was just a commercial, basically, on Twitter, And
Yeah.
Reggie was a part of it. The man, Reggie, was a part of it. And Diablo even got a console bundle. So something that big, I mean, it was Blizzard's return to Nintendo after like what, 20,000 years, and they're just gonna drop it, not even in a direct.
Well, if you remember before this last direct, not the Nindy direct, but the actual direct that showcased like Astral Chain and
Yeah.
those games, leading up, there was a lot of rumbling and hoopla on Twitter saying, when is Nintendo going to drop the direct? There's rumors about it. If you noticed Nintendo's Twitter feed, they were actually dropping some announcements just on their Twitter feed,
Mm-hmm.
and people were saying, "Wow, it looks like they're just opting out of the direct and they're just going to drop some." And they were dropping some nuggets, like they had. Remember, there was that thumbnail of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Yeah.
After there was like no information about it, there was that thumbnail on YouTube where the guy on the airplane's just playing it.
Yeah.
And we were just like, they just casually threw it on a thumbnail. Like there's not even an announce for it. And then what was it? 2 days ago, it's finally playable on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a little more than 2 days, but your point stands, and you're absolutely right. And that's what I think. I mean, maybe Nintendo was never going to really release it, but I mean, it's just. I know a lot of the other third parties, Walmart of Canada is the one that usually, like, thanks, Walmart of Canada, for revealing things. Even the Bethesda guy made a joke of it on stage at E3 last year, and it was hilarious. I loved it. And so Best Buy this time, Joker's rendering. Okay, that seems like a big deal, but it also seems like not a big deal at the same time. I mean, had they had Cuphead Smash Brothers rendering, then yes, that would have been a big deal because he's not been announced.
Right.
So I'm not, no one, not Wario, not anyone has announced Cuphead on, that was just an analogy there. But man, I just don't know. We get Best Buy dropping Persona 5. That's a slap on the wrist, I think.
That's a fireable offense, man.
You think so? That's fireable? I think Metroid's fireable for sure. Persona 5 seems like inevitable to me.
Well, I mean, Persona 5 has been rumored for a long time, but I feel like Nintendo and Atlas were waiting for something, and that something is, I think it was the Joker actual reveal, the proper reveal of gameplay and maybe like a little sizzle reel or something that Sakurai likes to do. I think that they wanted to formally wait because Atlas just announced Persona 5R, the Royal.
Yeah. What is the Royal, by the way?
So the Royal is essentially like your deluxe version or your Game of the Year version of a game. So pretty much like a game with DLC included or like an extra like game plus essentially.
Uh-huh.
And so Persona 5R, the Royal, they're anticipating that you can play as a female protagonist now.
Okay, and that would line up with the Smash Brothers, just some other rumors that would actually line up. I'm not gonna really say them. I've been trying to avoid rumors and spoilers, but it's getting harder, especially that I'm trying to do nightly news at 9:30 every night. But I will keep quiet on that because it did revolve data miners, so I don't want to really bring that forward. But I think it'll probably be a skin if there is a female Joker or anything like that.
Yeah, similar to like Olimar in Smash, you can play as Alf as well.
And then Corrin you can be
Koopa Kids.
Kids. Though I did hear that some people, like if they're Wendy, they consider them separate from if you're a Wendy player, or are you a Koopa, or are you a Bowser Jr. player, and Lenny is still a Bowser Jr. player, but Wendy is just
Wendy. Just make sure you differentiate yourself here.
It's funny. But I think it's kind of like the Waluigi crowd that, kind of just is like, Wendy's the best one, just like Waluigi's the best one.
Hashtag justice for Waluigi.
Hashtag just for Waluigi, yes. Hashtag Best Buy just leaked everything. What do you think Nintendo will do? Do you think Nintendo's just gonna, like, suddenly Best Buy's not selling any Nintendo products anymore?
I don't know, because Walmart, like you said, leaked some Bethesda goodies, and Bethesda kind of just shrugged it off and was like, "Yep, that's Walmart kind of thing," or like, and then Walmart Canada was on a streak for a while. They were messing up. So it's interesting because Nintendo hasn't really been on this like side of the table really. They've never really. I know there have been leaks and stuff like that, but a major retailer leaking things like this, I don't think Nintendo has had that in a minute, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, if Miyamoto is capable of getting like frowning or something, because I've only seen the dude ever smile. If he's capable of frowning, he's frowning right now. He's not happy. Yeah. Miyamoto is sitting there with some sake and just like he's not happy, and
yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting to see how Nintendo handles this. If they're you never know, they might just do a surprise direct tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, what if this falls on Bowser, Doug Bowser?
It's the timeline of Bowser, man.
I mean, what if Bowser, because he is in charge now?
It's falling on Doug Bowser now. It's no longer Reggie's thing. So.
What do you think Reggie's doing right now? Reggie's just like smoking a cigar.
It's just like, yeah, man, you're gonna experience all of these dark moments now that I'm
like gone, so. Reggie's looking at his phone right now and Bowser's lighting it up and Reggie just like puts it down. He's like not my problem.
Yeah, man. That's probably what's happening right now.
Reggie right now is just cozy in bed, just watching reruns of Powerpuff Girls or something. Oh my gosh.
That's perfect.
Do you think, okay, so here's the question, $1 million question. Do you think it's real? Tell me why, yes or no. All three, or I don't know, just tell me, do you think it's real?
Oh man.
It's Wario 64. Wario 64 doesn't lie to us.
You know what? He doesn't, but he was actually the one that believed that Smash leak. Remember that banner leak?
Yeah.
That leak?
Yeah, the Grinch leak?
Yeah, the Grinch leak. He actually believed that. And he was kind of,
really?
So he's not perfect. Obviously, I think he has one or two faults here and there. It's impossible to be perfect.
Except for Reggie.
Except for Reggie, right? Reggie is the perfect being. But he, if you look at the replies to that tweet, someone was saying that the portal system that they use at Best Buy is identical, and that the rumors line up. And so I'm going to say yes, but always take something with a grain of salt because it's the internet.
Gosh, I hope this wasn't like an April Fool's joke that some guy forgot to post yesterday, He forgot to post it yesterday, then Wario latched on. Oh. Because it's the Link to the Past that is the thing that is killing me. Like, it was gospel until Link to the Past came out. It's like, I was like, yeah, those games make sense. And with the port of Link's Awakening even, it made Metroid Prime Trilogy seem even more, because they've only been porting Wii U games. But with Metroid Prime Trilogy getting ported, or with Link's Awakening getting ported, it meant, okay, they're going to go really far into their backlog. And then Metroid Trilogy, which I've been hearing, I thought, okay, yeah, that's going to happen. But Link to the Past, why would they do Link to the Past this year and not next year? You know what I mean? It's like, unless the only thing I could think of, and you're hearing it here first, so this is a theory. I came up with this theory. I was hesitant to say it. I might as well say it. Okay, so people have been complaining that Link's Awakening is like $60, and back in the day, I remember that was a $30 game, and inflation, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what if they combined Link's Awakening and Link to the Past as one game? They released both games on one cartridge. Therefore, you beef up, it makes the $60 price tag doable. And in the timeline, which we were talking about on Saturday's podcast, for anyone joining us right now, we have a podcast at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the exception of this week. Actually, I would have plugged it at 11 a.m. this week, and this is new to everybody. It was news to me about 3 hours ago. We're probably going to do Thursday podcast this week. But we were talking about the Zelda timeline, and Link's Awakening falls directly after Link to the Past. So what if both games are coming on? And I would say the thing that discredits that theory is, wouldn't they have shown Link to the Past first and then Link's Awakening? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to how, did you notice that when Capcom has been announcing their ports to the Switch, the only one that's getting a physical release, I believe it's either Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil Code Veronica. But the rest are digital. Why wouldn't they put all digital games on one cartridge? And they're charging $40 for each game. Something in that number, $30 to $40.
Hey, okay, so Mini Stove, I love that name. Mini Stove, like Mini Stove 1111. He says, yeah, that Best Buy employee reply burst their bubble, I bet.
Oh, the Best Buy employee really burst their bubble. Yeah.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
I guess he said that he really screwed up, that Best Buy employee who put that on the website.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, did somebody refute these claims? Okay, and then he says, I mean, the Canon Incineroar leak was real when other parts of the leak, probably talking, were wrong.
He's talking about the box leak, not the Grinch leak.
Okay.
You're familiar with the box leak, right?
Actually, I'm not.
So there was a theory going around that let me see if I can...
Oh, yeah, the box leak, yes.
Yeah, so that there were the box is symmetrical, and that there were two spots on opposite sides of the box that were empty, and people were theorizing that would be Incineroar and Ken, if they did the math correctly, not counting clones, not counting Echo Fighters and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yes.
And this was like the ace in the hole that was going to disprove the Grinch leak. So there were the Grinch believers and there were the Bucks believers.
I was so trying to stay away from Smash leaks that some of it got lost to me. I didn't know there was factions. But he says also Mini Stove is like, so it could be that the Link to the Past part is false, but the rest of the leak is right. So, I mean, yeah, that's a definite possibility. And going back to earlier, what maybe this Link to the Past SKU is something along the lines of a gift card, an eShop card, or it's actually them going to release some SNES virtual games, because those have been kind of data mined out and everything, I believe, I don't know for sure. Whenever data mine is a word that I see, I run from. But just because I do like the surprise of things. Then why are you doing a reveal video? Because I'm a hypocrite, guys. I'm just, so yeah, so that is a good point, Mini Stove. That maybe it's just that part's wrong, or could some, man, that
is it just, do you think it's just a little random nugget that Nintendo wants to throw our way, to just kind of like, hey, this game still exists. This is from the beginnings of the Zelda franchise, you know, just something to kind of throw out at the crowd as bait.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like,
it is odd. It is the black sheep of that list, to be honest.
He said he clarified burst their bubble, like taking the wind out, ruining Nintendo and Atlus's fun of announcing Persona. Yeah, I understand now, Mini Stove. Thank you for explaining. And you're right. Yeah, it definitely would take. It would. I mean, there's just no way around it. It would. I mean, didn't a lot of the Wii's Smash Brawl get leaked out there? And that was before the internet was that was before everybody had a phone, you know, that had the internet, a mini internet on it.
I saw it happen, and I was really involved in the Smash forums at the time on IGN specifically. They had a Smash specific message boards, and I was on it every single day after school, and if I could during school. And then I remember like a month to a month and a half before the game came out, the full roster leaked.
Yeah,
And people were saying, don't go to the next page unless you want to see characters. And of course, me, I didn't have self-control as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, that was 15-year-old David. This time around, he actually was like, I'm going to leave the podcast if you guys are going to talk. And so we're like, we won't talk, David. We like you. But it does take the wind out, because I'll tell you what, I mean, so I can't speak for everybody's. I used to believe that all like YouTube reaction videos were like, when they loses their mind when they see this, we're all completely fake. But then when I started doing it, I was like, oh, well, you know, that's my real reaction. That's how I reacted. So, but I will tell you this, my Link's Awakening reaction would not have been that excited had I gotten to know that it was coming via Wario64 on Twitter, via a Best Buy employee taking a snapshot. You know, it's just, there's just no way for me to be that excited about Link's Awakening, or if I knew it was coming beforehand. Now, I would be excited the moment I heard it. Like, I'm truly excited right this second about Link's to the Past maybe coming to the Nintendo Switch. But at this point, if I hear about it this year, yeah, the excitement will not be the same. And I'll tell you what, I like Link to the Past, but no, I like Link's Awakening actually better. But they're almost equal. So it's just like, yeah, if this is true, it actually does kind of suck. But on the flip side, it kind of doesn't, because you know what? I want every single game in existence. I want the Zelda CDI games on the Nintendo Switch. You know what I mean?
That's definitely a far reach, Ken, but I hope that happens for you, man.
That would be so awesome. Hotel Mario, please.
Oh, man. Oh. No, but that's I mean, and then of course this could all be fake. It's a possibility,
yeah.
You know, but
like I said, what if this was a April Fool's joke that didn't get picked up until today?
Right. I thought the Joker render was an April Fool's joke. I thought it was like one that was early, that one that leaked a little bit early or something. But it looks pretty real. People did reverse engineering on it. They can't find another render that looks like it, et cetera, et cetera. So,
did you answer my question? Did you answer my question about what do you think? Are these real or not? Persona 5, is that a real? That's SKU.
Yes.
Metroid 4 or Trilogy. Metroid Trilogy. Sorry.
Definitely yes.
Link to the Past.
It seems so odd and so weird, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. Mini Stove gave me an out, so I'm gonna say Persona 5, yes. I'm gonna say Metroid Trilogy, yes. Link to the Past, it hurts to say this, but I'm saying no. I'm saying that part of the rumor or whatever, there's something not right there. Maybe it's a pop, I don't know. And I think that's Mini Stove. I was all yay or all nay, but Mini Stove kind of gave me the politician way out here to say, but we should have, you know, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with saying that Link to the Past is a no, but I hold out hope, and I have some, like I said, maybe they're just going to tack it on to Link's Awakening. That would be awesome, but I will tell you this, Link to the Past people might freak out if it's the same artwork. Because it's one thing to give that artwork to Link's Awakening, it's another thing to give it to Link to the Past. You know what I mean? I'd be okay with it. I really don't care. But I know other people wouldn't. What do you think? Would you be okay with that artwork on Link to the Past? Because I'd find it weird if they had two different style artworks on a game that was on the same cartridge that was one after the other.
Oh man, it's kind of like a Super Mario Advance situation. Remember playing that?
Yeah.
Where it was a Super Mario Advanced. What did it have? It had two games on it. One was Super Mario World, and the other one was Super Mario Brothers 2, I believe.
I'm not 100% sure.
And it was two different games on one cartridge, but no one played Super Mario Brothers 2. Everybody played it for Super Mario World.
Oh, poor Super Mario.
And the art styles are radically different. I mean, Super Mario Brothers 2 is what? Doki Doki Panic, essentially, right?
Yeah.
and it just has like a weird airy feel to it. The not eerie, airy, as far as like when you jump, it's really floaty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the games felt really weird for me, and then that's the game that introduced the turnips.
Yeah,
she takes the turnips out.
That Peach's whole move set in Smash is based off of Super Mario Brothers 2, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about her.
That was that her first appearance.
As a playable character, yes. Not her. I mean, her first appearance. I mean, she is Princess Toadstool in the first game, even though some people will argue that they are separate, Peach and Toadstool. But no, she is Princess Peach and Princess Toadstool at the same time. And she was playable in Mario 2, and that's pretty much her first time being playable. And I don't think you get to play her again until really Super Mario Kart. And then eventually she does get her own game, but most of her like actual like who she is comes from like who Sakurai based her off of was the second one. Now there are some things like her umbrella and stuff that were just kind of added in because like that's something that you see her with in artwork, and so he probably just like, well, I'll just open that because I don't think she ever really, used her umbrella to float down anywhere. But the hovering, the turnips, all that comes from Super Mario Brothers 2, which is Doki Doki Panic with a reskin of Mario characters.
Just a little side tidbit. I just noticed that Yoshi's Island on the SNES is a sequel to Super Mario World.
Yep. I knew that, actually. I knew that. That's the one with the baby. I knew that one.
That never clicked for me, man.
Really?
Because you don't really see the art style's different. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a different art style. And,
it was actually debated for a long time that is that part of the Mario franchise. And I believe Miyamoto himself finally had to say, yes, guys, shut up, nerds. It is.
Because the Yoshi franchise in Smash is very distinct from Mario. He's not part of the mushroom icon. He's part of his egg icon.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
And I have a theory as far as like, I'm not commenting on rumors because I don't look into the data mining stuff. I'm just commenting on what I think could be a character. I think, so think about this. Yoshi's Crafted World, right? Just
Poochie?
released.
You gonna do Poochie? Whatever?
Poochie. I'm feeling Poochie, man. It's another Yoshi rep.
Yeah, maybe, because in reality...
Then think about it. The stage from Yoshi's Woolly World is missing in this game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It does not exist. So they might have a Yoshi's Crafted stage.
I could probably see that, and I could get on board with that even. It'd be a little weird to be one of the downloadable characters right now. It seems like you almost want to hold it off to the next Smash Brothers almost, and just get in third-party people for your DLC. But I could see it. I could definitely see it, because with Yoshi, I mean, the Mario franchise just has the most spin-offs of any franchise. It's just, I can't think of it with successful. And right. Maybe you could argue it's actually a Donkey Kong spin-off, but we're just gonna, for the sake, say Mario has Donkey Kong, has Yoshi, has Wario, has separate characters starring in their own. I'm not even talking about the sports or the Mario Karts or the this or the that's, and it's just. And Yoshi is very underrepresented if you think of him as a character with a franchise. And Poochie definitely seems to be the standout character, and maybe Birdo. But Birdo actually isn't really in. Birdo's kind of been regulated to Waluigi status, only showing up when parties are happening.
And I would have liked for Birdo to be, I think she would be perfect in Smash. But, maybe Poochie wouldn't be a DLC character. I think it would be kind of like a Piranha Plant character where it's like, hey, we've also have some other characters in the back burner here. Here's a surprise character. I could see that.
Yeah. Mini Stove, it is canon. It is canon because of Shy Guy and someone else first appeared in that I can't think of at the moment. Birdo for one, but Shy Guy, it is canon even though it started off Doki Doki Panic. It's almost like Doki Doki Panic ceased to exist. It was like, but it is canon, but it's weird. It's very weird. And the reason it isn't because originally Super Mario came out and then Super Mario 2 came out. But the president, I thought it was Japan, but apparently it was Nintendo of America that thought Super Mario 2 was too stinking hard. So they said, give us something else. And so they just took a different one of Miyamoto's things, Doki Doki Panic, and just put in the Mario characters. But because it's just, America, I guess, they just kept going to the well of the Shy Guys, and now it is canon. So whether or not it started off as a different game with different characters and different whatever, it's its own, it is part of the Mario universe. Now, the main bad guy, Wart, has only appeared once, and man, I would love for Wart to reappear. Wouldn't that be so, that would be a closer for a direct, a new Super Mario game, but then the reveal is the enemy is Wart. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the freak out of the internet? We should probably close it up. We got to save some talk for Thursday.
Yeah, because we leave the guys some remnants.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about all this again. Mini Stove, I want to say one thing also, David, if you could just bear with me. Yesterday, I posted something that I'm a little... I think someone might have stole a video idea from me. And Mini Stove, actually, he commented, and he was afraid... He said this. He was, afraid that he came across, I don't know, maybe aggressive or a troll, but I was like, no, dude, I'm glad you felt the freedom to tell me that. And so I just want to make sure that anybody on this channel, anybody watching right now or in the future, if you feel that I'm crossing a line, or maybe I need to take a step back, because let me tell you, sometimes I take a couple steps too quick. Feel free to let me know. I might not agree with you, because I told Mini Stove, actually, you're referring to something different, but I do appreciate the comments, because you know what? We do got to hold each other accountable. David, I would appreciate if you hold me accountable for everything. I'm still, I've reached out to said parties. I've made somewhat of contact. I'm holding off because I'm waiting for a response from the person in question. I hope to get that response, but because I really do want to, because originally I made the video, I made the reaction, and I have it ready to post, actually. But I was like, no, don't do that. I don't want to have needless drama. I want to make sure I've gone every avenue that I could. But I just got to say, Mini Stove, you are a true asset to the channel for willing to say, Ken, I think maybe you're wrong here, because you know what? I don't want a channel of yes men. It's not going to help anybody. It especially won't help me. This channel is going to be built upon a really cool, friendly, trusting community. So that's what I got to say there. So Mini Stove, thank you again for last night, even though maybe Thursday or Friday I'll be going forward. So if said parties are listening, please contact me, because I've reached out and I've made contact with your circle. So that's what I gotta say. David, anything to close out us on?
I'm all about these late night things, these late night shenanigans. Whenever random tidbits of news just fall on our lap, and I'm all about these spontaneous talks, man. I love stuff like this, because the good stuff happens when we're all asleep, I think.
Yeah, they do that. They wait. It's like Nintendo knows. But to be fair, Nintendo isn't. To Nintendo, it's happening in the middle of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's we forget that Nintendo is Japanese. We feel Nintendo is our uncle, and no, they're maybe they're my uncle. I'm Asian, but they're not your uncle. You're and it's but yeah, it's just it is cool. And I've been doing the nightly news thing, and so I was able to really get some of it out of my system, because I just want to talk all the time, right? I want to talk about Nintendo stuff all the time. But tonight it was just once I saw Link to the Past and I hadn't talked about it at 9:30, I was like, let's do this. So, okay, guys, well, that was an impromptu. Don't think that we're going to be doing this again. Who knows? Maybe 5 things will drop tomorrow. It doesn't mean we'll have another podcast tomorrow. It's just David and I are just we have the free time. Devin and William, they work midnights. We work the daylights, so we were able to do this. David, thank you for helping me get out some of my geekdom. Mini Stove and Yaya and Glenn and anybody else who sees this right now who's just kind of listening to us in the background, we appreciate you. And thank you guys. Have a great night. It's dangerous to go alone. I'll probably have my video up tomorrow a little later than I wanted to. It's going to be an unboxing of the Limited Run Games golf story. So guys, it's dangerous to go alone. Please share this video, this channel with a friend, and have yourself